Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Can you believe it's June and I'm wearing a hoodie? I could live in a hoodie. We have just had so much rain here in Texas and the weather's been super nice, unseasonably cool. The humidity hasn't been terrible. It's been a while since I did a 2-bait Tuesday video, and that's what I want to do. I want to give you 2 baits that I feel like first week of June, these are going to be proven performers. I'm going to give you 1 bait for fishing from 0 to 30 feet of water, and then 1 bait that's going to be for your relatively shallow water, but can work over top of deep water. Before we get into it, I just want to say, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I'm up to 3,500 subscribers. Possibly we could do some sort of giveaway when I hit that 5,000 subscriber mark. So here we go. Number 1, I'm going to say, starting from the top, I would want for the month of June, May into the first week of June, we're going almost into the second week of June, a cigar style walking bait. Something that you need to use the walk the dog technique. And learning to walk the dog, if you don't know how to do it, it's really not all that difficult. The main thing to do is to, once you throw it out there, kind of tighten up your line and then just twitch it once and it'll go to the left or to the right, whatever. And then you'll twitch it again and it'll go to the opposite direction. And meanwhile, you're just turning like a single turn or 1 revolution to take up the slack, depending upon your gear ratio on your reel. But you just kind of have to work with it. The main thing is to hit that one, just to twitch it downward and to get that motion going. And it's that directional change that's so great about getting fish to strike this type of top water. The other thing that's great about it is you're constantly looking, for this time of year, an area where they're feeding on shad or some sort of bait fish, whatever you have in your given lake. So this bait's also great at being able to cover water. So you just throw it out there and you can just walk the dog, keep the trolling motor at a medium pace. Where I'm gonna throw these? I'm gonna throw these over long tapering points, secondary points at the mouth of spawning pockets. And then as they make their transition or their migration out towards deeper water for the summertime, you just kind of want to play out, well, they could be moving here to this point. They could be moving offshore using these landmarks or points. So definitely long tapering points would be a great place to throw them. Sometimes you can actually throw them in the pockets and in the bays when the bass are preying on bluegill that are bedding. And then so something like a bluegill pattern could really work well. If the water's really clear, I'm gonna go with this is actually called nude. I don't know if you could see it, tons of teeth marks on this guy. And then I love to dress my walking baits with some sort of tail feather. This one's a homemade jobber, but I really like the Owner tournament trebles that have a feather already tied up, ready to go. Generally just put it on the back hook. I've got one on this bait right here. And this is the Strike King Hard Knock. This one actually has a rattle, a knocking rattle in it. So when you're twitching it, it gives you more ability to draw fish from a longer distance. I got a piece of weed that's dried on here. But it actually says Hard Knock on the bait. This has been a great bait for me. More of a shad pattern, more opaque. So for a little bit more stained water, something that's a white or bone or shad pattern. The next bait, definitely gotta have when you're transitioning out of the springtime and into the summer. We're talking early summer patterns, and that is the Texas rigworm. The Texas rigworm is just a great way to get bit. And the thing that's great about it, you can fish it in 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 25 feet of water, 35 feet of water. This one I've got here is a Strike King cutter worm, and this is more of a swimming style worm, which that tail just kind of wags as it goes through the water. This is a great one in and around grass beds. I've got it on a 4/0 Owner J hook. I like that hook, it's a great hook. Just some different colors that I might show you. I believe this is a 3/8 ounce or 5/16 ounce Strike King tour grade tungsten weight. And I just pretty much carry black and green pumpkin, sometimes chrome. But they make a bigger one right here. This is their larger cutter worm, sometimes a bigger worm. Definitely when the water warms up this time of year, a bigger worm can get the nod. I also really like, this is the Rage Recon worm. And this guy's awesome because tons of action, ribbed body. This type of bait is just great for fishing offshore humps and points in different transition areas and even secondary points, brush piles, around boat docks. And that color is plum. So plum, June bug, a blue fleck color would be good. The June bug is what I'll go with on your overcast day or dark days. And then the plum when the sun's out. And then a red bug is another great one. I've got a red bug over here. And red bug right here. Red bug can be a really good one. Texas rig also. And this one is actually the bowl worm. This is a straight, thicker, heavier bodied, larger finesse type worm. Can be really good also on like a stand-up shaky head or Texas rigged and even Carolina rigged. And any of these baits could be Carolina rigged, but I'm predominantly talking about Texas rigging these baits. That was red bug and then plum and then also a June bug. So those are some of the colors that I'll throw, and also a blue fleck. Blue fleck works really good in that Rage Recon worm. A couple things to take into consideration when you're fishing a Texas rig worm. Number one, you always want it to be on the bottom. So if you can't feel the bottom, then upsize your weight. This is 5/16. Sometimes you go to 3/8, and if you still can't feel the bottom, it's a little windy, ½ ounce. The main thing is get that plastic worm down to the bottom and get it so that you can feel it. When you're working it, you want to be able to feel it. So what I'll do is I'll throw it out there, let it sink to the bottom, and if it's deep, I'll actually peel line off my reel so that it falls on a slack line and does not pendulum back to the boat. You want to be able to throw it out there and fish the structure you're aiming at, as opposed to fishing right beneath the boat. Not that you won't catch fish underneath the boat, but make sure you're hitting those exact spots where you believe the fish to be. Once it hits the bottom, I just take up my slack and I kind of keep it at, say, the 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock position, and then I'll just kind of shake the rod and hop it, hop it, hop it. I might get up to the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock position, and then I'll reel back down to the 9 o'clock position. So just kind of working it like this. And if I come in contact with some sort of cover down on the bottom, I'll let it sit there and I might jiggle it right there. It might be over a limb or a root system in a brush pile. I might yo-yo it and let it fall back down to the bottom. So when I feel it kind of come over a limb, I'll drop the rod tip, let it have slack so it can fall straight vertically down to the bottom and get back into the cover. So that's critical. If you keep your rod tip up right like that, again, that bait's penduluming back to you, and you don't want that. The vertical fall catches fish, especially with your soft plastics and your jigs. So those are some things, some tips. That's your Tube Bait Tuesday video. Hope you guys are getting out there and spending some time on the water. I think it's actually going to stop raining this week here in Texas. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And until next time, good fishing.